Hi everyone, I'm going to show you how I make my sourdough pizza crust. And we eat this in my family probably at least once a week, maybe twice sometimes, and absolutely love it. And now that we're dough and we're doing sourdough starters all the time, I am going to show you how I do my pizza crust now. And further into the video, I'm going to actually give you the recipe also while I'm chopping up the vegetables on how to make this pizza. So starting right now, I am putting olive oil on some parchment paper because I like to pre-cook the pizza crust. Now this dough yields enough to make two pizza crusts that are about like 14 or 15 inches each. And I like to use just an extra virgin olive oil that's cold pressed and organic, obviously. And here I'm just spreading out the dough onto the parchment paper because what's going to happen is I'm going to put it in the oven at around 410 degrees for about 10 to maybe 12 minutes, just until it's just barely cooked. We don't want it to be brown because it's going to go back in with all the toppings on it and you don't want to overcook it. So this is just me spreading it out. And if you'll notice when I talk about the dough and what goes into it, I like to use fresh herbs in it. Anyway, I have a convection oven and absolutely love it. It's on my countertop. I put it in there at 400 degrees, 410 maybe, for about 10 minutes till it's firm. And really, like the second time I put it in with all the toppings on it and the cheese, I don't even use the parchment paper because it's already firm. So I'm using the parchment paper to give it a base so it doesn't, sink into the grate. So now I'm getting ready to chop up some of my vegetables, and I like to use things that are already in my fridge that we have not used for the week. I always make it a point to buy mozzarella, fresh mozzarella. If you don't know this already, shredded mozzarella that is in those packages like Kraft or different other brands has sawdust in some of them, and that's like a preservative they use to keep it from caking up. And it just has some really gross stuff in it. So I like just to buy fresh mozzarella. And as you'll see later in the video, that I like to spread it out and put it all over each pizza, and it tastes amazing. My kids love it. Here I'm chopping up some onion, and I like to put turkey pepperoni. We don't eat pork, and so we do turkey pepperoni. It tastes just like regular pepperoni, but you can use whatever you want. We have done like a white Alfredo sauce with chicken before on our pizza. Again, we're using whatever is in our refrigerator a lot of times. I do a lot of stir fry, so I always have, usually a lot of times we'll have mushrooms on hand, some kind of pepper or zucchini. That actually tastes really good on pizza too, believe it or not. So for my pizza dough, I do about 1/4 cup of starter. I'll do 4 cups of flour, and I do 2 cups of water. And then to that, I add just a dash of salt. So I'll just do like maybe 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and then 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1 teaspoon of like basil, and then 1 teaspoon rosemary, 1 teaspoon oregano, and 1 teaspoon thyme. So it's like an Italian mixture. And my mom has a fresh herb garden, so I like to use all of her fresh herbs, and I'll just put them and sprinkle them all over the top of the pizza, and it tastes amazing. I also like to, I use it in the dough, but then I use it on top of the pizza. That's what I was going to say. And in just a little bit, I also have a how to make your own tomato sauce. So you'll see right there in the corner, right next to my head right here, is a basil pesto. If you have a Costco that is in your city, you can buy this amazing basil pesto. I've seen it at pretty much all the Costco's. There might be some that don't have it, but it's their brand, so I think they carry it at all of them. But it's really good to put on the pizza. It's already has everything made up for you as far as this pesto. So one pizza will be a pesto, and one pizza will be the tomato sauce on it. And it's just, they're both very good in different ways. So here's where I make my tomato sauce. I just do 1 can of tomato sauce. Again, this is something you can buy at any grocery store. I get mine from Costco. And then I add so that's 1 can of tomato sauce, maybe about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. This is onion, freeze-dried onion. Again, this is from Costco. And I'm putting about 1 tablespoon, it looks like maybe 2 tablespoons of the freeze-dried onion. If you can tell from the way that I cook, I don't really measure. I just do it with my eyes. So it's guessing on how much is in there. I put my garlic in there. I'm putting some dried basil in there. That's, whoa, that's about 1 tablespoon. And rosemary, it looks like I only have just a little bit, so that's probably about maybe a fourth a teaspoon of rosemary. You can't go wrong with that. And then the thyme, again, maybe about a fourth teaspoon of thyme, and stirring all that up. And when that gets put onto the pizza and it gets baked, it cooks. So I know some people will cook their tomato sauce on the stovetop just to take down some of that acidic taste in the tomato sauce, but I've noticed when I just cook it straight on the pizza, it's so thin that it's cooking while it's in there. So this pizza crust came out. It was in there for about 10 to 15 minutes. So this is the one that I'm going to do pesto on. And you can see the way that pesto looks in there. You do about a couple of tablespoons of that on the pizza crust, and it's got basil in it. It's got pine nuts that are ground up, and it has just a little bit of salt, olive oil, and I think some, maybe just a touch of garlic. So adding garlic to this tastes really good because it's not very strong either. And then the olive oil gets absorbed into the crust, so it's delicious. It's so good. All right, so spreading that out, again, I think that's about 3 tablespoons, maybe 4 of the basil pesto to put on the crust. Then I'm taking the vegetables, and on both pizzas I do the same thing. So I do the same, like pepperoni, onion, mushrooms, and pepper. The only thing that's different on each pizza is the base sauce on it, and they both taste totally different. So we and my family like to eat both, like one slice of each pizza. And it's really fun to cut it however you want. I cut my pizzas in traditional triangle shapes. So this is so pretty too because it's colorful. I always love having colorful food. They say the more colorful it is, like when you have a variety of colors, the healthier it is, and you're getting all those different vitamins in it. So this is from our local grocery store called H-E-B. Pepperoni there, and like I said, most grocery stores, I've seen it at Walmart. I've not seen it at Costco, but I'm sure they might have turkey pepperoni somewhere if you ask. But I just buy it at our local grocery store, and it's enough to cover both pizzas and then another 2 pizzas. I would say that's enough in that bag, brand new, to do maybe 4 to 6 pizzas, maybe 6. Who knows? But it lasts a long time. And then I usually buy extra and I put it in the freezer. That can be for another video about how I freeze a bunch of things and they stay good for long periods of time, like my garlic. So I am getting ready to do the mozzarella now. So that is also from Costco, but you can buy fresh mozzarella at any grocery store. And here it's already sliced. It's pre-sliced, which is perfect. You just spread it out. And what's crazy about this mozzarella, the fresh mozzarella, is it kind of spreads a little bit, so watery. So when you're cooking in your oven, you just want to be aware of don't go overboard on your cheese because it will roll off and onto the bottom of your oven and make a really awful smell in your house. So I am finishing up. I'm putting that on that pizza, and that one is going right in. So see, I don't use the parchment. It's already hard on the bottom, so it's going to finish out really nice and have a nice hardness on the bottom, but still be soft enough to chew in the middle. And if you see, I have it about probably about 450 is what I leave it on when I actually am cooking the toppings, because those need to kind of melt down. So here is the next pizza. I think I leave it in there for about 10 minutes and I just keep an eye on it. This is my homemade sauce that I just made using the whole thing. And if you spread it out, again, if you spread this out thin enough, it's going to cook out all that acidic taste that's in the tomato sauce. For people that have acid reflux issues, I've made this like for my dad, and he loves it. And as far as I know, he doesn't have any issues with the acid reflux, and it's cooked out. All the acidic taste is cooked out in that tomato sauce. So I spread that out really nice and thin over the pizza crust, and again, adding the rest of those ingredients that I chopped up earlier, the onion, mushroom, pepper. You could add olives. We've done artichokes before. Now that's a specialty item that I have to think about to buy. I don't always have that in my refrigerator, my pantry, and so I purposely have to buy that. I've done tomatoes on there, like a margherita pizza where I just do tomatoes, fresh basil, and garlic, and maybe a little bit of spinach too. Spinach is really good on pizzas. I'm trying to think of what else I've put on pizzas before. Chicken, I said the chicken with the Alfredo sauce is really good. And really you could do anything. You could do sausage, ground beef on the pizza, cooked ground beef. You could do a whole veggie pizza with spinach, zucchini. Zucchini actually cooks really, really good on pizza. Oh, pineapple. We have a friend that loves pineapple on pizza. So that's actually really good too on pizza. Buffalo pizza, I've had that too. So putting the rest of the pepperoni on and spreading that out. Those pepperonis taste so good. It's turkey, and it's actually better for you than the other ones. It is still pretty high in sodium, but if you're gonna do pepperoni, I think that's the best one. So then I use the rest of that fresh mozzarella cheese, and we have bought, if you're not a fan of the fresh mozzarella, I think it's okay to buy the block mozzarella cheese and just shred it yourself. Again, the pre-shredded mozzarella cheese, all the cheeses, really, look on the back and read the ingredients. So here is the other pizza going in with the tomato sauce. Again, 450 for about, I did 10 minutes. I usually do about 10 minutes. There's the other pizza. Isn't that beautiful? All the cheese is melted. It's kind of browned on top. And here's my second one. Now, one thing I want to talk about is this. This is balsamic vinegar. It's a glaze that we put. And there it is. Yum, 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 yum. There it is on top of the pizza. So I'm going to go back and show you the glaze. So this is from Trader Joe's, I believe. And if you have a Trader Joe's or Aldi's, I think also carries it. And then just specialty grocery stores, I'm sure, will carry this. But it is absolutely amazing. It's balsamic vinegar, and it's thick. It's thickened, so they call it like a glaze. And after we cut the pizza, not everybody likes it on their pizza, but I drizzle it over the top. Oh my gosh, it is so good. And I do it on both of them. Not just the whatever that's called, the basil one, but the tomato one as well. And it's so good. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and that you will go out and make some of your own sourdough pizza and share what you did. Maybe something different. Caramelized onion, that might be good too. Thanks, guys.